Hello, it is Musings with Mookie. Today is July 29th. It is a little after 11 p.m. on Tuesday night. Tomorrow, my kids have school in the morning. This podcast may post tomorrow because I don't have any other saved ones pending. So I may just, record another one tomorrow. I really got to get or catch up on some pre-recorded casts so I don't feel like I'm in a rush today, because I didn't say I would post every day or even every other day. But they're short videos. I still don't know the direction I'm going in, and I wanted to record something for July 29th. July 29th is a memorable date for me. 2 plus 9 is equal to 11. That's a good number if you believe in numerology and things like that. And this seems like uh, this July 29th, it's on a Tuesday. Again, the last time July 29th was on a Tuesday and it was memorable, I was going to basic training at Lackland Air Force Base. I had to be in Texas on July 29th from Montgomery, Alabama. I didn't grow up in Montgomery, but that's where the plane was leaving. That's where MEPS was. So that's Montgomery. So July 29th, I joined the Air Force. Of course, I signed paperwork days before, weeks before, maybe 6 months before, like getting into the Air Force. It wasn't chaotic for me because I wasn't doing the paperwork and having to make sure all the boxes were checked. I just had to be alive and be ready for pickup. So the way I remember me getting into the Air Force is different than the way somebody else, the person actually doing the administrative part, would. Because me, I'm just like, whatever. When do I go? Okay, that's fine. Since I'm already signed up, I guess I'm gonna go for this amount of time. And I wasn't nervous about joining the Air Force. I wasn't. I think the only thing I was nervous about was getting on a plane because I had never been. And yeah, other than that, I wasn't really phased by going to doing the med workup. Whatever happens was going to happen. I know if you're really close to me, some people may be like, oh, she has so much, negative things to say, but I'm not a person that is here or I'm not a friend. I encourage you, but I see the reality in things, and so I talk about the reality of things. I don't, like, if you want me to be a friend and you want me to be open, then there's going to be some good things I talk about. It's going to be some things that you find negative or pessimistic, or you see my outlook as being negative, but I don't see my outlook as being negative. Not entirely. There are some things that I'm working on, to say that, to be more positive focused. Like, instead of saying I'll try, I will. When I get up on stage, I'm going to crush it. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm going to crush it. So there's things like that. But me just talking about what's going on in my life is hard to get, friends to stay and listen. But yeah, I had no qualms. So people may see me as being negative, but I've got so much under control, like, when it comes to, like, life-changing events. Like, I coast through it sometimes, void of emotion, but I coast through it and just move on to the next thing. So when I joined the military, I wasn't nervous. I was not nervous about going. I was not nervous about the instructors yelling at me. Matter of fact, I was almost to the point of not even caring. It like I didn't have any emotion to it. Like they didn't scare me. Um, I just was not afraid of what's going on. I felt like I didn't feel unsafe. So I think that adds to the level of, comfort I was willing to go along with the yelling and whatever they were talking about. Besides, my mother was yelling at me more every day anyway, so I wasn't really phased by anyone yelling in my face. They weren't hitting me, and I knew they couldn't hit me, so it was whatever. They want me to hurry up and move, I'll hurry up and move. But they more were disrupting my sleep. That was the biggest thing about basic training. Well, one of the biggest things. The second thing was eating. Like they disrupt your eating pattern, they disrupt your sleeping pattern, and I both love my sleep and eating. But yes, July 29th is a day that'll always be in my memory. I I don't it's not a grand day. No one's calling to celebrate my anniversary date of me being in the military. I've had friends or associates I have known for as long as July 29th is. And so that is well over 20 years. I don't want to say well over, but it's a little over 20 years. Um, and so, yeah, that's July 29th. July 29th is the day that I started on a venture that will ultimately lead me to where I am now, to my successes, to my rises, to my personal and very little professional failures, to my personal and a whole lot of professional wins. Like my losses are great in because I lost my career as an airman over an autoimmune disease. And my personal losses, I got a divorce at the same time I was losing my career. And I don't think my divorce is, well, I know, I know my divorce isn't over my Sjogren's, but it's just that those are some of the things that I remember that come up when I think about July 29th. July 29th is the reason why I was able, why I got married. I wouldn't say why I got married, but it is July 29th is, yeah, it's the catalyst for me getting married. It's the catalyst for me understanding what true stability looks like. It was the catalyst, the push for me to continue to want more for myself, to want more for my family, to say I can provide for my kids. Um, July 29th holds so much value to me. July 29th is the day I said goodbye to a previous life of mine. July 29th is how I changed the trajectory of my life, whether it be for good or for bad, because my life hasn't ended yet. Um, I don't even know if I'm middle aged yet. So I definitely don't know how much July 29th will change my life. But July 29th is an important date for me. July 29th provided me the ability to see more for myself, to do more for myself. Once I got out of the protective mode of, or the guarded mode of my feelings at my last duty section and learning to open up, I've learned to take so much more control of my life instead of doing the daily mundane things like I have to make money. Early at the forefront of my career that started after July 29th, I learned not to buy the biggest house, to not purchase homes or cars outside my means. Now, listen, I said I learned. Of course, there were some missteps, all right? It was missteps with the second car I bought. The first car was used. The second car was brand new. And I wouldn't say a misstep. It's just I hadn't planned on having or getting pregnant out of wedlock, but I also didn't make good decisions when it came to my personal expression of love. I didn't make good decisions. Um, but I had that high car note, and then I ended up pregnant, and I ended up with no help during that pregnancy. So, but I kept my car. I kept food for my children, for my child and myself. Um, it so yeah, July 29th is important to me. July 29th is the starting point at which my life began again. It was the next chapter after leaving home, and I had never wanted to go back. I have always wanted to stay away. I knew before I even joined the military that I was going to make a way out of my home. What I know or consider as my home state. It wasn't where I was born, but it was where I grew up for at least 11 years of my life until, about 11, 12. I think I moved there when I was like 7 or 8. But it's been July 29th has been a hell of a ride. Every time I think about it, I think about me running through that airport with, I think 4 or 5 other airmen and trying to make our connector flight. And I had never been on a plane before. I think about getting on every flight and falling fast asleep, even though I was trying to stay awake and see see in the sky, but I fell right asleep. I think about getting into the holding section at San Antonio Airport, and they got the bus there to take us onto the installation, and they're already yelling at us about something. I don't know. Sit there, sit there, sit there. And so, yeah, I think about lining up on the pad, and I got my pen in my shirt. I'm dressed in business casual already. It was the outfit that my boyfriend at the time had bought me. We had actually broken up prior to that, but we had got back together. We really cared for each other. But he said he wasn't moving any further north than the Mason-Dixon line. And I did not want that. I wanted to get out and see what was out there. I was curious. Um, so yeah, July 29th brings up memories of, eating at the dining facility or chow hall and having to stand really close to each other in line. And me just eating probably like grits and drinking the fluids because you had to drink 3 glasses of fluids, 2 being electrolytes, Powerade or Gatorade. I don't know, some powdered electrolyte drink they gave us. Then drinking a canteen. And since I'm not like a fast eater and I like peace when I'm eating, there was no way I was filling up on trays on a whole plate and trying to shovel it down in my mouth. Okay, I am a lady. I'm a tomboy, but I am definitely a lady. So yeah, July 29th is special to me. I think Beyonce also came out with a record. I'm not sure if it was July 29th or whether it was Cowboy Carter on March 29th. I don't remember. But that good 2-9 is special to me, especially in July. So I really have to look at, and I'm into astrology, so I'm definitely going to look at the astrology for today to see if it matches up with the astrology for that time when I was on the airplane and on my way to MEPS. Well, that was it for this episode. We're already 15 minutes in, and I could definitely ramble on. But I had to get up in the morning and I probably am going to record another episode. I just don't know what it is. I have something waiting that I want to, but this will be episode 9. So thank you for stopping by. An update. An update. Let me see. We have a viewing in Russia. I don't know how that works. Don't know how I got into Russia. Maybe someone's like, I don't know, flying or something. And then we got the UK again, but United States still stays in the lead. But these musings are for the collective. We all have baseline feelings of feelings are feelings. Emotions are emotions, and we all have them. Whether or not we want to use the words attributed to emotions, we all have the emotions and feelings. And we share those things. They're not synonymous to one culture or one part of the world, even though one part of the world or culture may express it more than the other. Those senses and emotions are not regulated to one cultural background. So, like I was saying before, thank you for listening. We are now at 16 minutes and 30 seconds, and that time keep ticking. But I have to go. I want to go. This has been Musings with Mookie. It's just a talk about July 29th and what it means to me. All right, talk to you later. Bye.